This is removing and replacing the power steering belt on your 4th gen Maxima. You can see here's the crank pulley right here, and AC compressor under the car. Here's the brakes. Right there is your power steering pump, or the pulley for it. There is the bolt, the tensioner bolt for the power steering pump, for the belt rather. Right there, that's the lock nut or lock bolt for it. That just holds it in place so the tension doesn't move. Kind of like the nut on the main tensioner pulley right there. See, it's a little gouged up, but so you need to remove that, or you need to loosen up that 12mm head bolt. That's right there. Then there's one directly behind the power steering pump. Should be right about here-ish. You can actually see the head of it, I believe. Right there. Not the head, but the ends of the threads. And you gotta loosen that one. That one I believe is 14mm. 14mm head. We'll see. I haven't done this in a long time. So the first thing we're gonna do is get to the 12mm head bolt that is located to the left of that power steering pump pulley. Alright, for this tensioner lock bolt, you can do it with just a simple wrench. It's a 12mm ratchet wrench. Makes it a lot easier to use ratchet wrenches in places like these. Basically, you just want to feel around, reach in through this area here where the tie rod, the inner tie rod comes out from the body. You're reaching through there with your left hand. You find the head of that bolt, and you reach in your ratchet, or with your ratchet wrench from over here, and you get on it like that. And you just loosen up that bolt a couple of turns. Oops. And that one is done. So for the back side, which again I believe is a 14mm head. Can't really get it on video where the bolt actually is, but this is a 14mm ratchet wrench. Again, ratchet wrenches help a lot. Just reach back there, put your ratchet on it. Maybe a bit hard to break free, especially if you've never done it before. This one I must have just tightened the hell out of it. There we go. Here we go again. That is the head of the bolt that tensions the power steering pump belt. That's a 12mm head, so get your 12mm socket, extension, and a ratchet. Now you could get all up in there and get on it without a long extension. I like to use a long extension and a swivel to do it from all the way down here. Oops. Just gotta feed it up through there. And just start turning it. I was turning it the wrong way. You gotta tighten that bolt. You can watch the whole power steering pump start swiveling down. You can kind of pull it down too with the belt. You can see now, because you loosened the lock bolt for the tensioner, obviously the tensioner bolt, and you loosened that bolt that holds the power steering pump on from the backside, the whole pump will just move in and out now, or up and down, which is what lets the belt go free. So, alright, bring that tensioner bolt in some more. You can see the belt is very loose, so just reach up in there and slide it off that pulley. If it won't come off, it's not loose enough, then just run that bolt in some more, like I'm going to have to. There we go. You can hear the belt squeaking like that. This one's bad. Work that belt off of there. Crank pulley and get around by that tensioner. Just get a yank, it takes care of it. Yeah, this one's all kinds of cracked. It's very minute. Couldn't even see it in the car, but that's bad. So I got 2 new belts. Alright, so putting the new one on is well, simple. Well, first, when you get new ones, you want to compare the new to the old as far as length goes. Luckily the old one's stretched a bit, but it should be pretty close. It's an OEM power steering belt. Here, 4PK 775. And here's the new belt I picked up. This one is Duralast 305K4. I believe it's a Gates number, but and you can see it actually has the interchange listed right here. 4PK 775, and this one is 305K4. So that we know it's the right belt. And checking your belts before you put them on will save you a lot of aggravation. Trust me. Sitting there trying to put on the belt is 1.5 inches too short. Spend an hour on it before you realize. But that's just how it is. On there. Make sure to seat it in the right place, otherwise it'll catch up. Ow. Throw that belt around and bring it around and just put it on that pulley. Now to reinstall it, or to tighten it back up, get back on that tensioner bolt. And you want to loosen it basically. It's just a design, how it's designed. You gotta loosen this bolt. And you can probably see it actually. If you watch the pump, you'll be able to see it move. It'll swing up and to the left as you're looking at it. Just check it every so often. Twisting like that, you only want about 1/2 a turn. You can get a belt deflection gauge. There are specs for it, but just do it by feel. Okay, now go ahead and reach around. Go ahead and reach behind and tighten up that pivot bolt for the power steering pump. And you reach around here, you can feel it. It's not a tiny head like most of these other bolts are, like most bolts in the car. The head itself is probably about, I don't know, a good 1/2 inch long. You know, pure hex, the 14mm, and it's one of these days I'll have to pull it out and show you, but you can find it pretty easily. Just reach up to the pump, to the upper right of the pump as you're looking at it, and you should pretty much get right on it. I'll go ahead and tighten that up. Once that back one is done, reach around, or you go to this one in the front. Put your ratchet on there, your ratchet wrench on there. Hey, once you've done a power steering pump belt once or twice on a 4th gen, I'll have to tighten the shit out of it. It's not as hard as you think, as people tend to lead you to believe. So once you do it a couple times, you'll find a harder time taking a bra off than you will doing this power steering pump belt. So those two are tight, the belt is good, and you are done. That is removing and replacing the power steering pump belt on your 4th gen Maxima.